Welcome back to Midday. We are back in Barnhart Vale at Mary Boudreau's studio. It's great to see you again, Mary.
Good to see you too.
Yes, I am overwhelmed because we are seeing this transformation take place right now on canvas, but there have been so many steps.
There have.
And I'd love you to share them with us.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, the last time you were here, we just had the drawing, and I had to, because you had approved it, I had to redraw the lines and make them darker so that when I put tracing paper on top, I'd be able to see that through the tracing paper and make a copy. So once the tracing is completed, I flip the tracing paper over and I'm looking at the back of the tracing now. It's reversed. And I'm going to take a piece of charcoal and redraw all the lines. So here's the toned canvas, and the tracing is simply aligned with the sides of the canvas and taped into position. So now the final tracing is in progress, and I use a pen because it has a fine line, and also it leaves a color behind and helps me to see where I have traced and haven't traced. Then I take the drawing outside and I spray a matte fixative to the drawing. What this does is it bonds the charcoal to the canvas. If I didn't do this, the charcoal is just sitting like dust on the surface, and if it wasn't bonded, it would blend with my first colors that I put on, and it would muddy them and make them look pretty awful. So long before I start squeezing paint out on the palette, I spend a lot of time looking at the photograph or any image support that I have that I'm going to be painting from, and I decide which area of the painting I'm going to work on first and what my colors are, and then I know how much I need to squeeze out on the palette. Now for this session, I'm going to start on the background and paint the wall and the window frame. Now these are all oil paints that I use, and I use a variety of brands because each brand has a different color. It might have the same name as another brand, but the colors vary from maker to maker. Just as with the drawing, where I start with the eyes first, so too when painting the portrait, I start with the eyes. I seem to need them to be looking at me, which might sound a little peculiar, but I just need to know I've got them looking, seeing, if you will, and then I can proceed with the rest of the portrait. Painting the eyes is the most detailed area of the whole painting usually, and where I use the smallest brushes because I have to get into these tiny little places, and I want them sharp and crisp, and the same type of application is also used on the mouth, especially when there's a smile, which is what will be coming up here with Susan's mouth as well. So I laid in the dark areas of Susan's hair, and now I'm just going over it with a lighter value. And because her hair is long and flowing, so are the brush strokes, and it's almost like brushing her hair, which is kind of neat. I really enjoy the spring in the canvas when I paint. You get to do a big area with a bigger brush. You can see the canvas is moving, and I can feel it under my brush, and you get into a rhythm with it, and you know how it's going to respond when you do certain things, and it's just an aesthetic part of painting that I so very much enjoy.
So tell me what part of this has been the most challenging so far?
I don't mean to sound arrogant, but none of it.
Really?
Challenging.
No, because I look at it and I think there's a lot of detail, obviously, that goes into the face because there's different things going on.
Yeah, for me, this is kind of the copying stage, right?
Yes.
I'm reproducing what I see. So this part isn't challenging. From here on is where I experience some challenge, because this is when I'm going to start pulling on my own creativity, or what I think it should be, or what I think you think it should be. And that's where I get challenged.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me this, when we first started the process, you said, is there anything that you want to change? Do you want to take the smile from one of the proofs and add it into this picture? I said, no,
Right.
let's just keep it as it is.
Right.
How often do people actually change up parts of the painting?
Quite frequently. Yeah. Yeah, they'll want the hair from this one, or can you slim me a little bit, or, you know, like some of it's just something I have to pull out of my own imagination, like the slimming thing. I can't rewrite who you are, because everyone would know, no, she's not that thin, right?
Yeah, that's
However, I can do slight little things that will help or flatter, but no, I won't redesign how someone looks.
Yes.
Yeah.
One thing that I can see the difference is that you see more window in this in comparison to the
Yes.
picture, which we talked about.
Yes.
Because then it brings out a little bit of the heritage of St. Andrews on the Square, which
That's right.
I think is great.
And you said that was very important to you.
It is,
Yeah.
because that's a special building to me for
Yeah.
family reasons, and I
Yeah.
think it's nice to be able to, I think you can almost sort of identify, because if anyone's been in that structure, in that building, they know that this is it.
That's right. This window is going to be a challenge for me, because I have never painted anything that had stained glass. So
Interesting.
that will be, that will be something. I had to kind of calculate in my own mind. Okay, where am I going to start with this? So
Right.
In the picture, you can see there's this very light little gobs of green right above your hair in the photo, and there's a lot of it in the picture I'm using for the full window. So I'll be layering on top of that to create that filmy, foggy, gemmy look.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so what happens now? What is the next thing you'll focus on? Will it be doing more of the face, more of the arm? Where will you start?
It will be your face.
Yes.
I want to nail that.
Yeah.
And then the rest can just happen.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Because I've got to connect with you. Like when I painted your eyes, they have to be looking at me. And now I know they're not correct. They're not the right color yet. They're not even really three-dimensional. But they're looking, and
Yes.
that's enough for
That's
me.
right.
So my next stage will be to work your eyes so that they look very much like they do in the photograph. And then the rest will become modeling your face and making the difference between the highlight and the midtones much more subtle. And yeah, that's what's next. And yeah, and just reworking everything, because this is just the first stage. I mean, you can still see the lines and
I know, I like to
and
think of
all
this
that,
as the bone
so-
of my arm, and then that's the skin. I don't know.
Gee, I thought that was a highlight. That's funny though, because that's the difference of how people see
Exactly.
things, right?
So where do we go from here? I guess we're going to see you again in a few weeks, and by then, how much change will we see?
We should be pretty much done by then.
Really?
I'll probably send you one by email when I'm very close. And then you can say, oh, can you change this? Or maybe you'll like it.
Okay.
And if there's anything you need changing, then I'll make some final tweaks. But yeah, the next time we should be pretty close.
Why am I under the impression I'm probably not going to find anything I don't like? I don't think I will. Like what I see already so far is so great, except for I wouldn't mind that being filled in. But I'm loving it. So I just want to
Okay.
say thank you for working so hard on this.
Oh, thank you.
It's amazing.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
thank you for not freaking out at seeing
Oh,
yourself
no.
like this. I mean, some people might think, oh my, what is she doing to me? You know, but this
Yeah.
is just the stage,
Yes,
right?
of
It's,
course.
It's just part of the building blocks to get where
Exactly.
I want to go with it. So,
Awesome.
and thank you for your confidence. I'm flattered.
Oh, for
Thank you.
sure. Yeah, you're so welcome.
Thanks.
For anyone who's interested, of course, this has been such a cool experience, and I highly recommend it. The information is on the screen as to how you can get a hold of Mary. You can also follow her blog, because she's got a great blog going on as well. And we'll keep you in the loop here with the next installment. It sounds like we'll be very close to the finished product.
Yes, we will.
Awesome, Mary. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you.
All right, we're back in 2 minutes. Stay with us.
Yeah, thinking how I could have been brave, not a quitter. Yes, I could stop now, but I'm gonna practice my aim in the mirror. Tonight I'm holding out till the morning.